you grew up in a totally different background, and you were a rebel. You just wanted to break free. You did not embrace the dogmas. You wanted, to look within. You wanted to dig deeper inside, and you must be having quite lots of questions, and you wanted to explore the world, and quite a lot of things that goes in all of our heads. Now my question is, if it is yoga that you are practicing and learning and studying, and if you are into yoga psychology now that you have said, so I mean, like, what made you get into Vedanta? And one common thing that I see in both of our lives is that we wanted freedom and liberation, at least
Mhm.
not bodily, but something which was inside from here. So,
Mhm.
and that's how we started searching and we started exploring. So, I mean, when was it that you came across Vedanta? And what, according to you, is Vedanta?
Yes. Um, Through the exploration of myself, my journey, I wanted to know more, right? I wanted to be satisfied with answers to my question. It was destined, right? Like you feel it in your soul, you feel it in your core. Like I want to explore, I want to travel, I want to learn more about this culture. I want to meet people who can teach me how to be more in touch with my inner self, things like that. Or I want to learn on my own, right? Through different methods, meditation, yoga, reading the Yoga Sutras and Vedic counseling and books like that. You hear about different philosophies, right? Like the 6 schools of Hindu philosophy. So one of them was Vedanta, and we know there are 3, right? Non-dualistic, dualistic, and I don't remember the third one. And then you have Kashmir, Shaivism, Tantra, the Yoga Sutras, different modalities. So I have explored most of them a little, right? And I take pieces and parts that suit my soul. So this is when I come again with the same philosophy, like we don't need to be limited to one philosophy or one box or one label, right? Our mission is all about exploring. So I also explore Buddhism. There is a very big Buddhist meditation center here in Dallas, and I went there for about a year. I joined their lectures and I was listening to Buddhism. It's a wonderful philosophy, but my soul wanted to explore more. So looking, I said, Vedanta sounds interesting, right? And Vedanta is a system. It's not a religion. It's a philosophy, so to speak, and is not affiliated with a specific religion. And it is not Advaita Vedanta is what I'm exploring more right now, and is about non-dualistic view of life, right? A non-dualistic experience is that through specific practices, you can experience the divinity, the within yourself, the absolute. And we say in Vedanta, we are God. You are God, right, so to speak. And also the word God is very loaded with a lot of emotional meaning for people. So instead of God, we can say consciousness of the absolute, right, the absolute. And that's what Sanatan Dharma is, right? Is the eternal law that never changes, is the absolute, is the divine, the inner exploration of your being. So Vedanta is, Advaita goes more into, well, you don't have to look outside. It is within you. You are already it. You are the absolute. You are the supreme. You are a divine human being. And that strategy, I think, gives people an incredible grounding, right? And that's liberation, because you know that it doesn't matter what happens in your life. That's why we love the great prophets and mystics like Buddha and Jesus and Vivekananda and Ramakrishna, whatever you follow, whoever you follow. They were so much grounded in their transcendent dimension, in their spiritual beings. Even Gandhi, that it doesn't matter how much suffering you have in your life, you know in your core that you're going to be okay, right? And that requires several practices, you know, like I think attachment is one of the big ones. Like don't be attached to anything, not to people, to things, to transient things. And so discovering that Vedanta, I found a center here in Dallas, the Vedanta, Ramakrishna Vedanta Society of North Texas. And as you know, and many of the people watching, Swami Vivekananda, the monk from the Ramakrishna order, he came to the United States in 1893 to the Parliament of Religions to represent India in a very important discussion about religions. And he went to Chicago, and he was one of the largest contributors to the knowledge that we have now in the West about yoga and Eastern philosophies. He started it. He came, the first monk ever to come to the United States in 1893. So when I knew about Vivekananda, I felt such a deep connection with him, like he became my guru, right? And it was not instantaneous, but I felt an affinity and attachment, an identification with his life. You know, also he was also a rebel. You know, you have to be, and a seeker to leave your country, come to a different country, a strange place, and discovering who you are in the process. So I felt very, very identified with him. So he brought me to Vedanta pretty much because when I found out about him, his life and his mission, a very charismatic man, I think he's amazing, an amazing example for young men. And I started reading more about Vedanta, and I said, there has to be a center in Dallas. So I just researched and I came across it and I joined, and I have been there for about 3 years now, going to the lectures and meeting people. And all the members that go there, they are from India. We are a few people from the United States and other countries, but the majority are from India. And they have become my spiritual family. Everywhere I go in the world, I feel at home, right? Like I travel alone sometimes. I love traveling alone, and my mom cannot understand. You know, she's like, I don't understand. You're crazy. How you're traveling alone? Don't you feel lonely? And it's like, no, I don't feel lonely. Of course, sometimes I do. But in the big picture of my life, the world is one family. That's another principle of Sanatana Dharma. And it is true. You know, when you really start getting into these practices, you feel like everywhere you go, you feel at home, because home is inside of you. It's not outside. Nothing is outside. Everything is inside. And that's my experience with all of these exploration.
That's quite an experience, Claudia.